Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for watching. In this video, I wanted to kind of just ramble or yap with you about how I've been feeling lately. I feel like this is a very different kind of video than what I normally do. Normally, I talk about my process, but like if you've watched any of my videos, I've talked about my drawing process a million times. So I thought we could talk about like some actual stuff because I'm an adult and I feel the need to talk about things. I hope that makes sense. I have had quite a few events in my life in kind of recent times that have really made me think about my life and what I'm doing and how I feel about everything. And I'm just going to apologize in advance because this is completely unscripted and it's going to be very rambly. So if you don't want to listen, you can just mute me or something. I don't know. But I have been thinking a lot about my confidence and how I feel like I've kind of lost that spark from when I was younger. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I just had a birthday last month. I turned 20 years old. And in internet terms, I guess I'm unk or whatever, but I'm aware that I'm still very, very young. But I've been looking back with people doing like it's 2016 again, post you in 2016. Obviously, I was like 10 years old in 2016. But like looking back on all of these like old pictures of myself and just going back to this headspace I had when I was really, really young is such like a weird feeling because I was not drawing when I was 10 years old. I had really no interest in art or anything like that. And I think that's so crazy because then I ask myself, like, what would 10-year-old me think about me now? I think the number one thing that person would say, that person being me at 10 years old, I think the number one thing she would say is, wow, you look so different. You're so much bigger now. Which, yeah, obviously, I'm a grown woman now, but I think she would be happy because I was very insecure about my looks as a kid, especially going into middle school and stuff like that. I feel like it's very difficult to be a young girl today, not just today. It's difficult to be a young girl in general, and it really, really sucks. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, to be honest. But I am biracial, and I am from a predominantly white area. I think that was also really tough, not really seeing anybody that looked like me when I was younger. I think it did have an effect on me because I don't know, like, why don't I look like everybody else? That was something I was really confused about for a long time, especially with my hair. If you have textured hair, I feel like we've all gone through a phase where it's just like, oh, I need to change this thing because it doesn't look like everybody else's. And I don't know how to manage it, and it's difficult to take care of, and it's time consuming, and I'm a kid and I just want to play, so like just get rid of it, you know? But that's besides the point. That's not the point I wanted to make. The point I wanted to make was, would I be proud of myself? And that's such a difficult question to answer because I think when I was 10 years old, I would have expected myself at 20 to, one, be like a supermodel, which, okay, I was delusional. Yes, I know. But two, to also be very successful and to have a house, and I would drive, and I have none of these things. I have accomplished none of these things, and I wouldn't really say I'm disappointed in myself, and I never ever want to say I'm disappointed in myself, but I do think I could push myself more. And I had a conversation with a friend recently where I gave some advice that I really think I should take myself, which is confidence is not narcissism, especially when it comes to things that you do, like not just your looks, but also the drawings that you make and the work that you do. And with this piece in particular, I am very, very proud of this. And I always get this like voice in my head that's like, okay, well, I shouldn't like tell people that I'm really, really proud of this because it's not the best thing ever made, you know? And like, who is the judge of like the best thing ever made? You know, like art is a subjective thing, so that's never going to exist. But I really tried, like whenever I was showing my family and stuff this piece, I was like, I'm so proud of this and it looks so good. And I wanted that to be a very concrete thing that I was saying because I truly believe that. And I am confident in my abilities to do something. How does this relate to what I was talking about before with my younger self? I was going to say that I think my younger self would be very proud that I am proud of something that I created because I don't think I would ever be able to do something like that, you know? I think she would want that skill, and a skill I would want from her is to be more carefree. And I feel like everybody would say that. I hope this like rambling is making sense. I just needed to like vent and just kind of yell into the ether about my feelings. I've been feeling very sentimental, and like looking back on my life is so crazy because like I don't know if I wonder if everybody feels this as they get older. And like it's hard for me to remember so many pieces of my life. Like it's just a blur for a lot of my childhood, and I don't know where that comes from, but I wonder if a lot of you feel the same way. Like I wish I had more of these memories that I see in pictures, because there was a point in my life where I could look back on these things and be like, oh yeah, like I did that last week, or oh yeah, that was last year, oh yeah, that was a couple years ago. But then it's just like you reach this point. I feel like I reached this point when I was like 13 years old, where it's just like my memory had just been wiped and I'm just like a completely different person. Is that just puberty? Guys? Because I really don't know. I don't want to like shame myself for thinking this way or like for feeling stupid for asking these questions, because they're genuine questions that I have, and that shouldn't be an invalid thing. To sum up everything, I think it's just as I get older, the more I actually start to think about the things that I'm doing in my life, especially with my art and my career moving forward. I feel like things have suddenly got very, very real, very, very fast. Like, real in a sense that it is serious and important. It is serious and important that I make art every single day. It is serious and important that I need to make money from my art, especially with the current political climate. That it's not really something I can keep as a hobby anymore, and it is something that I really need to push myself to do. I really would love to open a shop this year, and I think that is my ultimate goal. I love the idea of like packaging orders and sending them out. I think that is what I really, really want to do. So I hope that I can work my way there this year. And I feel like I probably talked about this did I talk about this in my first video or something? I don't know. But one of my goals for this year is that I want to reach 10,000 subs. And I think if I can get to 10,000 subs, then I will open up a shop or something like that. Sorry for all of the ranting. I'm sure not a lot of you care about like my personal life and stuff like that, but I'm always really stumped when it comes on what to talk about in my videos, so please let me know if you have a specific topic that you want me to talk about. And I would also really like to know if you prefer more tutorial based content or if you like just like chatty kind of day. I like talking about my day and like what's going on with me. So yeah, let me know. The video is about halfway done, a little over halfway done right now. I do think I want to talk a little bit about this piece, just a tiny little bit. This is Anna from Overwatch. This is the mummy skin, and I don't know, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch, as we all know, what a surprise, but specifically using this skin. I really, really love this skin, and I think it's really cool. So I wanted to draw this one, and also I eventually want to end up drawing all of my favorite Anna skins. So I think one of the next ones that I'm going to do is Bastet, or I think Anubis, maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a little bit about this piece. Also, the background, my boyfriend suggested I do like a basilisk? I feel like that sounds weird, but originally in the reference picture, this background was Eichenwald, but he thought that it didn't really fit the vibe, and I agree. I think this looks much cooler and much more ominous with the basilisk in the back, so that's what I ended up doing. I was gonna do like 2 buildings in the back, and they were gonna be in shadow, but I think this looks way cooler. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm just gonna leave it with some music, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. So